Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the medium format cameras that I have and that I absolutely adore and I love to use, because there is a love for medium format, there's no question about it. This right here is the Pentax 6X7. The Pentax 6-7 series ran from 1969 to 2009, as far as I could tell from the information I found. That is a good 40-year run. There's no question about it. This medium format camera has been the love of so many great photographers throughout history. This right here is the first generation. This is 1969 to 1975. The second generation added a mirror lockup mechanism, because if you've ever shot one of these, sound of that mirror slap is pretty cool and I love it, but it adds a bit of shake. So the mirror lockup in the second generation solved that problem. This is equipped right now with a Super Takumar 55mm 3.5. It's a big piece of glass. It's a big camera. This thing is probably about 3.5 kg, maybe 4 kg, just as it is right now with this lens on. I love this camera. First medium format camera that I ever bought. And again, my loyalty to Pentax meant my first medium format would be a Pentax, of course. Speeds are from 1 second to a thousandth of a second. I've had such issues with thousands on all of these videos. I don't know what the problem is. Plus a bulb mode for longer exposures. This one right here takes 120 or 220 film and you get 10 exposures on that roll. But every shot that you take with it is well worth it. It does require a battery to function, but it does not have a light meter. And we solved that problem by using a light meter. Or there's some really nice apps that you can use on your phone that will function pretty much the same as one of these. We have incident and we have the spot metering. The Pentax 6X7 was called the 6X7 because the negative was a 6 centimeter roughly by 7 centimeters, creating a very large and a very impressive image on a nice piece of 120 film. The V system Hasselblad cameras were introduced in 1957 with the 500C. And that one went until 1970. And in 1970, they introduced this one, which is the 500CM. This one was sold until 1994. The M just meant modified from the original C. The V system had 500s, 501s, 502s, 503s, and the last production year was 2013 with the 503CW. There's a good reason why these cameras are so highly regarded in the film community and also, of course, now in the digital community. They were asked to make the camera that went to the moon. That's how much respect they had. So I don't know what else to say other they made the camera that went to the moon. So that's good enough for me. One of the beautiful things about this camera is not just the build quality and the name. Every part of it is interchangeable with other parts. This right here is an A12 film back. It is a square 6x6 negative. This is where the film goes. The body of the camera has my viewfinder, and it has the mirror and the gearing mechanisms for the shutter and the counting of the film. And the lens has the shutter speeds, your apertures, and your focus. On this camera, I have an 80mm Zeiss 2.8. Lovely little lens. Works perfectly for me. I don't need to go much further than that. Different parts of the camera could be changed out. If you don't like having the waist level, you can replace it with another one. You don't like this glass, you can replace it with another glass. It was amazingly simple. Each part snaps into place, and you're always ready to go. This camera does not have a light meter similar to the Pentax 6X7, which meant you would need to have an external light meter, or if you're really good at guessing, know what your environment is and go for it. Limitations though, shutter speed on this lens is up to 500th of a second. So using a slower film speed always works. I shoot with the 100, 125 most of the time, so I'm always well within the range of the function of the camera. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. I'm only going to buy one of these in my life, I'll say that right now. Get one, take care of it, and use it forever. Beautiful cameras, lovely, lovely, lovely. I understand that maybe it doesn't make any sense to some of us. Why are we doing 35mm and 6x7s and 6x6? This is a perfectly good camera. It takes perfectly good pictures. 35mm film, 36 exposures, 38, 39 if you're super lucky. The Pentax 6X7, it is a bigger negative, but you get 10 shots on a roll of film. The Hasselblad 6x6cm negatives, you get 12 shots on a roll of film. Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Well, let's take a closer look at a 35mm negative and compare it to a 6x6 on a Hasselblad and a 6x7 on a Pentax, and get a better idea of why choosing medium format is really the best choice. Here we have our negative examples. 35mm, Pentax 6X7, and the Hasselblad with a 6x6 square negative. I think it's already very clear to see, without saying much, why certain types of photography, in this case, landscapes for me, medium format is just a dramatic step up in terms of detail, depth, the quality, just the whole scope of the scene in medium format. This is the same place. I shot this with a Nikon FE 50mm. This is the Pentax 6X7 with the 55mm. Same place, Phasiate Beach, Midlands. The difference is clear. This is also the Phasiate Midlands. What's the difference between using the Hasselblad and the 6X7? That's composition, but you can see the detail, the depth, and the beauty in this negative as well, whereas we would need a magnifier to really get into what we see on the 35mm.